Okay, I'm ready for my third application. This is going to be what's called the Dutch pour. And I'm going to use very runny paint. This is a mixture. I'm not going to mix the paint on this video, but this mixture is about 1/3 paint, 2/3 Floetrol or mixing medium, and about 15% water. There's a little bit of water to make it runny. And what you'll see is that I'm actually going to flood the upper portion of this canvas with this mixture for the paint, because I'm going to blow this, and so I need a lot of paint. I'm just hoping that it doesn't run into my mountains. Did I touch the mountain? Not too much. I got a little bit on the mountain, but I got it in the white part, so I'm not too worried about it. I just need to be able to control the way that I blow this when I use my hair dryer. And so I'm going to get really close to my mountain side and hope that I don't go into it too much. I want it to run, I want it to kiss it. I don't want it to overwhelm it. And what I'm going to do is tilt away from the mountain after I've got it on the mountain. And I'm putting quite a bit of the white part in there, but I'm going to move it away from the mountain so it doesn't run into the mountain. Does that make sense? So as I'm making this scene, I want the mountain to stay kind of with peaks, and I want the color of the sky to not be on the mountain. So I put some white down. I need a little bit more, because when you flood the canvas with the Dutch pour technique, you want to make sure that you cover the canvas. You need enough paint to be able to blow it successfully. So the more, you don't want to do too much. I mean, you don't have to, pour a gallon of paint. And with this amount of paint that I'm using, I'm actually going to away from the mountain. Now what I have here is I actually have some paints that have been pre-mixed in bottles, and I put them in these little squirt bottles that I bought off of Amazon. They came in a pack of 30 for 12. These are 4 ounces, and I got 30 of them. And I'm using different colors of blue again for the sky. I probably should stay close to the paint colors that I used for the water, but I have colors close enough that it's going to mimic the water pretty good. So this is going to be where I make the lines so that I don't end up messing up my sky. Similar to the swipe technique with a Dutch pour, you can layer the paints on top of each other. The other thing that I learned as I'm doing this Dutch pour is there is a thing called too thin. If your paints are too thin, they blow out, and then you end up looking kind of speckled. The goal for Dutch pour is to have kind of a smooth, wavy, almost like a flower petal. I don't know if a flower petal is going to look good in the sky, but we shall see. So I'm not going to go too much into different colors. I'm actually going to stay soft with the blues, and then I will show you my fun little toy that I also bought off Amazon. I am an Amazon affiliate, but I'm not leaving affiliate links on this because I found out from other people who shared their experience that Amazon's affiliate program has definitely changed, is not as generous as it once was. I came in at the time where they had pretty much dropped the program down to 4%. I think, hear me say I think, that they've dropped it down to 2%. And if you are selling something with an affiliate link and all you're getting is a 2% commission, really. And so it's not worth my time to be putting affiliate links for products that will only get a 2% yield if you buy them. And the way the affiliate program links is really a cool program. With Amazon, if someone clicks on something that you mentioned in a video or on a blog post or Pinterest or Instagram, if they click on that link, even if they don't buy the product that you mentioned, if they purchase within, I don't know if it's 24 hours still, but if they purchase within a certain amount of time, just because they clicked on your link, you'll get a percentage of the sale. So if you're doing millions of views, 2% of a million is still good money. I guess maybe what's that, 20,000? But if you're doing 100, say you make $100 worth of sales, you got what, $2? Yeah. And so I'm just putting little bitty lines in here, hoping that when I blow this out, I will get a nice blue sky-ish. I'm actually going to come back in with some of the older paints that I used, put a little Floetrol in them. Actually, I'm just going to use water and make this a little bit runnier so I can get some of the water from the sky. Color from the water into the sky is what I'm trying to say. All right, so here's my toy. So this is my Masters Airbrush kit. It has a compressor. I did an unboxing video for this, and it has the airbrush, and it's already turned on. When you see the green light is on, so that's off, and now it is on. And with the Dutch pour, people will use a hair dryer, but because I'm working in such a small area, I don't want something as aggressive as an air dryer. And I'm hoping that I will be able to control my paint a little better with this airbrush. I want the sky. I want to be able to see the sky from the mountain peak, so to speak. Does that make sense? So I have to have some way of being able to know where my sky began and my peaks ended. And what I don't want to do is blow too hard into the mountain and end up with that as part of the sky. So let's see if I need to add anything else. I'm gonna start blowing. I'm blowing my paint up in here, and I'm blowing my paint up in here. And I'm blowing my paint that way. Okay, I don't hate it. It's gonna look a little weird. Let's see what happens if I put I'm just trying to keep the mountain defined. And I don't want to lose the sky, but I don't want to lose the mountain either. So let's see if I can get anything to flow from here. This is I think this is cerulean, that's cerulean blue. I'm just putting a little bit of it near the mountain range. I'm gonna blow it out. All right, let's see. All right, so, and what I'm enjoying about this airbrush is you can definitely kind of control the airflow instead of it being something that is blown from back and forth. I can kind of pick where I want it to blow. All right. Let's see. So I'm definitely getting. All right. Ooh. Bam. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm happy. I'm happy with me. Boop, boop. I'm putting a little bit of blue down here to give me the side mountain. And I'm gonna blow that too. All right. I'm going to blow this way to kind of define the mountain. I'm going to blow this way to keep it moving. And I'm going to blow this way to go up the mountain. All right. I think I want a little bit of white let me get my white up in here. I'm going to put a little white here so it's not so turquoisey right there. And let's see. Yeah, and just a little bit right there. I'm going to call this cool. Yay! Alright, now all I have to do is see how it dries. I'm going to take a popsicle stick and kind of go inside of the mountain part and just move some of the edges so that I get the lines kind of smooth out where they're a little bit lost. And I don't want to do too much because I don't want to end up having to blow some more. So I'm just trying to get a little bit like that. Trying to get a little bit of a area where you can see where the mountain went up into the sky. It touched it, but it didn't. Same thing with here. I want the turquoise to get down in there to give me my valley. Yeah. I'm going to hit it with the torch one more time. And I'm going to call this kind of done. The next time I might use some bolder colors, but what I wanted was the impression of mountains and sky and water, and I think I achieved that. I could have probably put some of the turquoise down into the water, but that would be like messing something up. So again, my mother had this thing where she said, you better leave well enough alone. I hear my mother's voice, and I'm going to do that. So thank you for watching, and I will go through a brief of what I did. So at the bottom third, I used the flip cup method. The flip cup method uses a thicker paint. The goal was to have enough of a runny paint, similar to honey, that it would layer. If it's too thin, the paints will sink into each other and then you won't get the delineation of color. So this bottom third where the water is a flip cup. The paint is thick and you just pour it, flip the cup, pour it from side to side, up and down, however you want it. But the direction is important because with water, of course, water goes across the horizon. It goes horizontally instead of vertically. And with the mountains, I used what's called the swipe technique. And I poured paint that was thin enough to pour with the intention of swiping it, and I've used up all of my swipe tools. But when I swiped it, I put a white color on top. That could be any color. If you're doing a swiping, you want black to cover the paint, then you would use black on top. So the color, your swipe color is the color that you put on top. And because I wanted the impression of mountains, I used white on top of the mountains and swiped in different directions to kind of give it a mountain impression. And then with the sky, I used the Dutch pour technique. You want it runny enough to blow with a what do you call it, an airbrush or a hair dryer, and you will get this wavy, floral, really kind of cool effect. So I've got 3 different effects in this painting, and I'm quite pleased. I'm going to call this a done deal. Bye. Bye, Build Alliance. Thank you for watching.